us on this show are two very special guests, Mr. Frank D'Souza and of course Gurucharan Das joins us as well. Mr. Frank D'Souza is partner PwC. Gurucharan Das, if I may begin with you, this is no mean achievement. I've also got Rajiv Talwar with me on the phone line, and I do have Mr. Ajay Sahai, DG and CEO of FIO. Let me, before I go across to anybody else, Mr. Rajiv Talwar, if I may begin with you, our construction permit rating has gone up significantly, and just to quote this here, the construction permit rating has gone up from 181 last year to a 52 right now, which many people believe will be very, very good. Is this reflective on the ground?
Absolutely. I think it's much easier now to get permissions, whether it be environmental permissions or building permissions. I think that's greatly improved. In fact, I think now, coming down from 142 to 77 is half the number nearly, but I think the convenience now is about 4 times as easy. In fact, we are saying a simple thing now for affordable housing. For affordable housing, there need not be permissions at all, because if the land is there, we have already got buildings of various heights, whether it's a single floor, double, 4, 8, 10, 20, and that's about the highest that you can build on affordable on affordable housing. Those plans already stand past. What kind of provisions you need for water, electricity, sewage, drainage, as well as environmental clearances are all already in vogue in various parts of the country. In case those can be adopted and put on the net, then perhaps all state governments would allow a mushrooming of affordable housing projects, and that is where I think we are going to make significant contribution not only to GDP but also to convenience of business, and of course an increase in our ranking from maybe 77 to something in the first 25. So I'm very, very hopeful that in the construction sector, whatever be the slowdown of the last 1 decade, there is, I think, great hope. And now on the surface, you can see, on the ground, you can see all state governments almost competing with each other.
Okay. Yes, Rajiv Talwar, hold that thought, because I think I have a follow-up question on registering of property, which isn't so good just yet, and I will come to that in just a bit. I think it's good to talk about the good news first. Let me take this across to Mr. Ajay Sahai. And Mr. Ajay Sahai, as far as trading across borders is concerned, our ranking has gone up from 146 last year to 80 right now. So we're in the top 80 as far as that is concerned. What do you think has helped there, and is this reflective of the situation on the ground in real business sphere?
I think a number of initiatives have been taken by the government. Some of them may be not exactly falling in this period, maybe earlier also, but which they accounted in this year. The ground situation has also improved a lot. In fact, we carried out a study of 3 of the major ports around the clock for last 12 months or so, and we have seen the marked improvement. I would like to compliment the government for many measures which they have taken, including the swift pragmatic RMS system, electronic sealing facility. They have revamped the authorized economic operator, enabling the MSME units also to take the facility of that. And I think the direct port delivery and direct port entry, coupled with the infrastructure improvement at the ports, have also helped a lot. So I think it's a very good reflection, but work should not stop here. We should continue with the same dynamism and try to put the country in the top 10 countries so far as trading across border segment is concerned.
Oh, absolutely. We should amongst be the top 20. And you know what's encouraging is that we have improved on 6 of the 10 parameters that the World Bank does watch. Let me take this across to Mr. Gurucharan Das before I go any further. And Mr. Das, the fact that we've jumped from 142 in 2014 to a 77 now, from 100 last year to a 77 now, which is a jump of nearly 23 points, is no mean task, I'm presuming, for a country as vast as ours. But yes, the caveat is that these are the ratings for 2 cities, Bombay and Delhi, and that's the way World Bank measures its ratings. But we have improved in 6 of the 10 parameters.
Well, I think this is really very good news. And in fact, when we jumped from 130 to 100 last year, I predicted that this would happen, because what is driving this change is essentially the obsession of the government to take everything online. When everything slowly moves online, you reduce the interface of the citizen with the with the official. And this is not just the amazing thing here is that it's not just ease of doing business that is improving. It's actually touching the Aam Aadmi to get a birth certificate. The same processes, or to get your driver license renewed, the same processes of going online are helping the life of the Aam Aadmi. So I think this is, improving India's competitiveness. India has not, we have not had a lot of good news. Demonetization was a disaster. But now I think what we have is that what this will help is that some of the businesses that will leave China and they were planning to go to Vietnam, Indonesia and Bangladesh, they will now consider India. And so on the ground, this is really a very, very big change and very good news indeed. I can say it will corruption will be reduced as a result of this. And India had the worst red tape, and it will some of our disadvantage. You see, we are disadvantaged against other countries because of our poor infrastructure. But when you combine poor infrastructure with the difficulty of doing business, you had a very big disadvantage. Now I think it will help our exports, it will help many, many areas.
Okay, Dr. Gurcharan Das, just hold on for a minute. I will go across to Frank D'Souza, partner at PwC, who joins us. And Frank, while there is much to laud about, we've improved in 6 of the 10 parameters. I think there are reasons to worry, and one of those reasons is the GST. Paying taxes is somewhere where we have slipped. Actually, we've flipped from 119 to 121. I'm presuming the changes that were made to the GST didn't quite get captured in this listing. And what sort of a headroom do you believe this will have as far as our ranking is concerned next year?
To say that it didn't get captured, I'm not sure whether that is entirely a right statement. The fact that whether this took into account the period after December, whether even if it went to March, I don't think that this would have changed. Now, just let's recognize what are the elements which go into the overall ranking as far as this particular aspect is concerned. One is the reduction of the number of taxes that you actually pay. So as far as that is concerned, GST has definitely done that. So there's no doubt about it. The other element is how much time do you actually take to go ahead and discharge or pay those taxes. And I think that is where, given the kind of change that we were implementing, it is significant, it is huge. By no count, a change of this magnitude is going to be easy as far as adoption is concerned, especially given the fact that we are doing this completely through an e-interface. You have to give time. You have to give time for this to settle down. You have to give time for people to make them comfortable in terms of how it works, understand that there is a whole ecosystem in respect of the infrastructure which also has to keep pace with the requirements of the inflow and outflow of data and information. So this was, in my mind, something that was bound to happen. And I don't think that we should be overtly concerned about it. I have heard many people talk about the fact in terms of how it will improve. Yes, it will improve. There are two elements to this. One is the GST law itself, and then there's the administration in terms of how the taxes under the law have to be paid. And I think the ease of doing business deals with the latter element. We can have a different discussion in terms of what needs to be done as far as the law is concerned, but keep that aside for a moment. I strongly believe that over a period of time now, whether we're going to see an immediate result in the next year's ranking, I think we need to hold our breath on that. But I think over a period of time, definitely over 2 years, you will see an improvement.
Frank, give me a minute.
even
I
in
will have
this.
to come in there.
Having said that,
Okay.
to sit.
Okay, Frank, give me a minute. Frank, give me a minute. I will have to come in there. And Mr. Sorry, you were saying something. Go ahead. Mr. Talwar, are you there on the phone line with us?
I'm there.
Okay, I think my question to you has to be what Amitabh Kant told us just a while back, and he said while we've improved on every count, as far as registering of property is concerned, land continues to be a big hurdle. It is a big issue. Construction permits, we've done very well. That has been our best performing parameter. But as far as registering property is concerned, it is still a quagmire. It is still a big, it's an ordeal of sorts. What is the scope for improvement there?
Tremendous. I think the moment digitization of records takes place, the ownership will be on the computer, they will be online, and even absolutely live registrations can be done of people sitting right where they are. So I think there's tremendous scope for improving the registration process if we are able to digitize our land records. And in any case, with high-rise buildings coming up, I think we should now be providing online services for registration of flats and apartments which are sold on primary sale, and maybe a little after that on secondary sale also. So I think we do have a large amount of scope over there, and this will happen in the country. Actually, it is digitization and which will help us in raising our rankings in ease of doing business.
Okay. Quickly then, Gurcharan Das, a quick question also has to be on commercial codes, because enforcing of contracts again is some place where we need to improve very, very much. We were at 164 last year. We are just at 163 right now. And my own sense is that these commercial codes that are now coming to be will perhaps give us some room to improve there. You essentially agree?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think the most disappointing news is the fact that enforcing of contracts, India is one of the worst, and these commercial courts are going to help at the level of high courts, etc. But at the level of the district courts, the sessions courts, at where the ordinary person deals with those courts, and all we have to do is create commercial courts with people with commercial knowledge. There are lots of new lawyers who are graduating from our law colleges who have got far more competency in dealing with commercial matters. And what we need are these commercial courts. We need to have them time bound. We need to be able to bring in young people rather than these old fuddy-duddy types who have been doing it. But if you ask me, the most disappointing result for even the last time, the ranking did not improve that much. And so this is the soft underbelly. It is the judiciary. And it is actually the judiciary which is letting us down, because all you have to do really is just proliferate commercial courts in a time-bound manner. And we've done it in certain areas. The way the NCLT is working, etc. We've seen that it's possible to do it, but it has to be done across the board. That's the important thing. And all states are suffering. I mean, some states which are really terrific. I mean,
all stakeholders are suffering as well.
States like Andhra, Telangana, which are at the top.
I am sorry, but I will have to cut you short there.
This one, everybody's bad.
Fair point indeed. Just today in our news wheel, because there's just so much happening. Thank you very much, and I'll have to thank you here because I think joining us next is Amitabh Kant. We did have a conversation with him as soon as the ratings did come in. Here's an excerpt of that exclusive chat that we had with Mr. Kant.